So if I do substitution here, I already have x is already kind of by itself, right? Or it is by itself. So I'm going to take this 4y and I'm going to substitute it in for this x right here.
Do you have another so I can make copies? Is this...
Okay, so I'm going to take that 4y and I'm going to plug it in for the x in the second equation.
Oh, I was about to say how you meant like that.
Okay?
It's 4y, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. This should be y, my mistake. Better? Can you guys see that? So now this is going to be 12y minus y equals 70, which is 11y, right? 11y equals 70. And then divide both sides by 11. Now, this doesn't go in evenly, and I don't think that you get a real good decimal out of it. So, let me see. No, you get this ugly, awful decimal. So, I would just say that y is equal to 70 over 11 and leave it in fraction form. It's okay. 11 is a prime number. It's not going to reduce any further.
Wait, so if we don't get like a proper...
Like if I got 6.5, I would say, all right, I'll use 6.5. But I'm getting 6.36363 repeating.
So we couldn't round?
I wouldn't round it, no. Because then you're not exact anymore.
What happens if we do on the test, do you consider it wrong?
Leave it in fraction form for me, Savannah. All right, now I'm going to find my x value. I'm going to find my x value by taking that y and substituting it back up here. It's going to be 4 times, not y anymore, but 70 over 11. And I'm going to multiply. 4 times 70 is 280. I keep the denominator. And that's my answer. And like I said, I'm not going to get a great decimal, I don't think. No, again, it's another yucky decimal, so I'm just going to leave it. And so my answer is 280 over 11, comma 70 over 11.
Is that a comma?
Yeah.
So, hope we don't have to graph one of those questions.
You won't have to graph something that's like that. This one didn't work out because this is our practice test and we didn't make it very nice. Shh, Nick. All right, moving along to number 2. Number 2, I can solve this, and there's other ways that you can do it, but I'm going to explain to you that the easiest way to solve this one is by multiplying the top by, you could use substitution, but I'm going to multiply the top by -3.
-3.
Yes.
Because that's going to give me -6x on top. So I get -6x plus let me do -3y. Wait a second. Sorry. All right, let me try this again. Multiply by -3. That's going to give me -6x minus 3y equals -12. And then I am going to, I'll just rewrite the second equation because I don't need to change the second equation at all. It's already good to go with elimination. Thank you, Chase. So now I'm going to cancel these out because they're exact opposites. -3y plus 7y is 4y. And now the -12 and the +12 make 0. Divide both sides by 4. And I get 0 for y.
I don't know how I got that.
Now I need to find x. So I can use the original equation. 2x plus 0 equals 4. I'm using the first equation, by the way. So 2x is equal to 4. Divide both sides by 2 and I get x equals 2. So my answer?
Wait, so when we substitute, we don't use the one that we times it by? We just use the original?
You could use either one. when you find your second variable, you could choose either equation. It doesn't matter with this method. Okay?
Either one works.
Where's the Smith?
I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? She went to make copies. Okay. Number 3 is already set up for elimination, right? I can tell it's set up for elimination because the x's are lined up and down, and the y's are lined up and down. Mercedes? No.
What?
You know what?
No, what?
All right, the x's and y's are lined up. The constants are lined up on the other side. So
You want to do?
I can multiply the top one by 3 and the bottom one by
No, you want to
negative 4. I could have done either one.
Small.
I could have done either
You
one.
want to do it the small way.
So I'm going to get on top 12x plus 9y equals, that's going to be 99. The bottom is negative 12x minus 8y equal to 23 times 4, which is negative 92. Thank you. And now the x's cancel. Now what Nick was saying is that if we had eliminated y, it would have made things smaller, and that's all right. True. Good point. If you want to try to keep things smaller. Those cancel. 9y minus 8y is 1y. 99 minus 92 is 7. So there's half of my answer, right? And Savannah, now remember, I can pick which equation. Which equation can I pick to find my second variable?
Any of them?
Any of them.
So choose the bottom one.
Choose the bottom one because Nick is big about keeping things small.
That's what she said.
All right, now simplify this equation. Subtract 14. And x is equal to 3. And so my answer is 3, 7. Okay, so on the test, if you notice, I'm not telling you what method to use. You choose whichever method you want. However, different problems are already set up for different things. So, for instance, like I said, over here, number 1, x was already by itself. That was set up for substitution. This one here, number 4, set up for substitution because y is alone. So I'm actually going to start that one with substitution. I'm going to take this x plus 1, and I'm going to put it in for the y right underneath it. So that's going to give me 2x plus x plus 1, that's my y value, equal to 10. So in front of parentheses, I have a positive 1. When you distribute positive 1, you don't really change its value. So this is really 2x plus 1 equals 10. 2x plus x is 3x. Subtract 1 from both sides. Divide both sides by 3 and you get x equals 3. Now for this one, Savannah, this one's different because I'm using the substitution method. To find my second variable, I'm going to go to where it's easiest. Y is already by itself there, so all I have to do is take that 3 and plug it in. Get it? So my answer is 3, 4. And that's it. All right, number 5. Number 5 is a problem that is similar to the ones that we were solving on that graphic organizer with the arrows, except that they've already given you the system of equations. So they've started out with a word problem, and then they're like, psych, you don't even have to read the word problem, just solve it and make sure that you answer the question. The question here is how many trucks did they sell? And so Y is the number of trucks. It tells me that in the problem. You have to read a little bit of the problem. You just don't have to go nuts reading it. And now I can solve it. You can solve it any way you want. This one's probably either substitution or elimination is going to be okay. So it's totally up to you. Does anybody want to raise their hand and tell me whether they'd like to use substitution? Alec? Elimination? What would you do, Alec? Good job. So Alec I agree with what he's saying. He's like, I would multiply the top by -6. All right, so when I multiply through -6, I get -6x minus 6y is equal to -72. That's my first equation. The second one is, I didn't change the second one, didn't need to, right? So when I add them together, I'm going to get 4y is equal to 144. Subtract 72. Oh, 72. Okay. And then divide both sides by 4. And I get y is equal to 18. And y is the number of trucks, right? So I don't need to figure out what x is because they're not asking for that in the problem. So my answer is 18 trucks. The reason that we changed it from cars to trucks is because when we created the equations for the practice test, it turned out that the cars was negative. And I'm like, oh, you can't have negative cars. So even though like mathematically the problem was okay, in the context of the word problem, the problem didn't work out. So we just changed it. Yes, ma'am.
Why are we just finding y?
Because they've only asked me for how many trucks did they wash. That's the only question that they've asked is one thing, right?
But what happens if you?
If they said how many cars and trucks did they wash, then you would figure out.
But what happens if you didn't make that -6, but you made y -10?
Oh, then you'd have to plug it back in and get the y. Like if you found x first, is what you're saying, you would have to take that x and plug it back in and get the y. Which is all right.
Okay.
All right. Now, number 6, I want to make sure that you guys understand number 6 because we have not really talked about this break-even business yet. Okay, so it's not that difficult, but I want you to understand it. To break even in something is like when I start to make a profit. So like if I start a babysitting business, right, and I can say that I'm going to babysit for $10 an hour. I don't know if that's normal or not. But if I was going to babysit for $10 an hour, but I've just spent $100 on advertising, how many kids do I have to babysit before I can?
10.
I'd have to babysit for 10 hours. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Before I can start making money in my business. So I'm going to repeat that. I'm in the babysitting business. I'm going to charge $10 an hour. Okay, but I've just spent $100 on advertising. So my question is, after how many hours will I break even and start to make money? And Savannah's like 10, got this, right? Because after 10 hours, I've paid for my advertising and everything I collect after that is like in my pocket. So when we talk about this problem in number 6, it's the same idea. But we have to set up an equation that's more complex than the babysitting $100, $10 example. In this problem, she's investing $4,855. So that's her first initial investment. So let me write that down, $4,855. Plus, she's also still spending $690 per product, per copy. So she's spending $6.90 per copy. So I really should have, let C equal the number of copies. Always remember to introduce a variable, I forgot. So she's spending $48.55 plus 690 for every copy. That's how much she has to put in. On the other side, she's going to make money, right? She's going to make $19.95 per copy. So I want to know, when are those two things equal? That's her break-even point, is when they are equal. When her money that she has to spend to make the product equals the money that she's making, bringing in on the product. So that's going to be $19.95 times C. Okay, so break-even means when are the two equations equal? So now I can subtract 690C. I get 48.55 on the left. The 690s cancel. And 19.95 minus 690 is 13.05. And I will divide both sides by 13.05. And so I have 48.55 divided by 13.05. And that is 372. At about 300, because it's not exactly 372, at about 372 copies of her product, she will start to make money. Okay, that's a lot, yeah, but she might have a big business. I would think she has kind of, spending almost $5,000 to get started is like kind of indicative of a large business, right? Okay, I think we have time for one more.
Yes.
And then, here it is. Oh, can you guys do this one? I thought you'd be able to do this one. You think it's A? Let's see, let's set it up. So I would say let M equal the number of medium sandwiches, or the cost of a medium sandwich, right? And let L equal the large cost. So my first equation would be 12M plus 2L is equal to 90. Are you guys good on that?
Yeah.
Okay. My second equation, that one is from this, right? Right here. That was my first equation. My second one, I'll do it in a different color, is right here. 6 plus 2 equals 60. So 6M plus 2 large equals $60. Now, I can solve this one using elimination. Heather, are you picking up on elimination? You getting there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You could still message me and I'll send you a video. All right, so then the second equation I can multiply by -2. That'll get rid of that 12M, right? So I can rewrite the first one, no changes there. And my second one would become -12M minus 4L equals -120. Okay, and now those M's cancel, and I have -2L, and over here I have -30. Divide both sides by -2, and I'm going to get the large sandwiches is equal to $15. And I don't even need to go any further. This is multiple choice, guys, unless I didn't see my choice, or if my choice appeared twice or more than once, I would have to go back in and find the large. Yes, Chase?
I didn't do it like you.
You didn't do it like me? How many different ways do you suppose there might be to do this problem?
I'll show you 3.
There's a few. I don't know how many. I didn't really count them. But how did you do it, Chase?
Because there's
All right, here he comes. He's going to show me. Hang on. Guys, I will finish this video and I will post it on Edmodo, but it'll be later because I've got some